What's up, guys? Today we're going to be making rock necklaces out of rocks and wire. This is something that I've been doing for a little bit now and I feel comfortable making a tutorial on. So this is the kind of material that you should be working with. You're going to need some sort of rock or gemstone. You're going to need some different sized wires. You can make necklaces with the same sized wire. However, I like to use a couple different sizes of wire. It just makes it a little bit more pretty and aesthetic in my opinion. Next, you're gonna need some sort of pliers. I like using pliers. I use a couple different pliers. Sometimes I even use two at the same time. This just helps to maneuver the wire, shape it, and it's a really good tool to have. It's not necessary, but it's so much better to have these. And third, you're gonna need something to cut your wire with. You don't wanna be bending it to cut it. So we're gonna use some scissors. I like using these because they're very small at the tip. They get right on in there and snip the wire in tough spots to reach. And then last but not least, you will need some string. I use some cheap cord. I get this at Joann's Fabrics. It's like $2. You could be a little bit fancier if you guys wanted and use some leather. I've done that before. It's awesome. And let me show you guys. You can also use shells. The reason I'm not going to be showing you guys shell tutorial today is because shells oftentimes have less to wrap around, less space, and you can get less artistic looking and creative looking styles out of it. When I use rocks, I find myself becoming a lot more creative and making a lot better looking pieces. And that's just my personal experience. Some really cool examples of some necklaces that we made using these exact materials. These are what I want ours to look like today. A combination of thicker and smaller wires, aesthetic looking designs, creative, not similar cookie cutter rock necklaces. We're going to be adding our own detail into it and our own personality. And let's dive right into it, guys. First thing that I'm going to do is move all of our materials up here so they're not distracting us, and pick which rock that I'm going to use. I really want to go with this, I think, today. I really like the holes. I'm going to try to use my wire to go into there and just create some really unique designs out of this. I recommend going and grabbing a rock yourself instead of buying them. It makes it more fun. I actually found these in the ocean. These are pieces of coral. If you look at this, you can see it's kind of fossilized. There was at one point a little shell inside of there that has been fossilized now. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this and we're going to get on our way. So step one is just looking at your rock. What kind of shape are you going for? What kind of design? Do you want a lot of wire or a little bit of wire? Something that I try to go for is honestly not thinking about it too much, but just grabbing my thicker wire. Right over here is a good example of some thicker wire. And what I say by thicker wire is I mean when you bend it, it kind of just really stays into place, but it's not too thick that you can't bend it very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a good amount of my thicker wire, probably enough to wrap around my fist, and I'm just going to go ahead and snip that. This is about the size of wire I start with. Thing I try to do first is find a good hold. There's two ways to start this. The first way, in my opinion, is the best way, and that's the way I'm going to show you guys first. So I like to find somewhere that I can hold the necklace by. So for example, this hole right here is going to be really good. We're going to stick it through here and let a piece stick out. So this is our thicker wire, guys. And we're going to have a piece sticking out here. This is where I'm going to hold the necklace pendant from. This is the pendant, and this is where it's going to connect to our rope. Again, here's our rope. We're going to need it to be held on. So we're kind of planning ahead at this point, which is important. So what I like to do to make the hold is I like to take about that much wire, bend it over itself, and you'll see it bends right on over itself. And now you have a little hook like that. And that is what your cord will be going through. So now we're going to wrap this piece right here around this piece of wire right here. I'll show you guys. We're going to hold it with our one set of pliers, and then we are going to twist it with our second set of pliers. And you see it bending around now. There we go. So do you see this wire right here? Now there is a reinforced hook, and this can be held directly by our cord, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So we're gonna put it right back through there. All right, so now look at that, guys. We have our first part done. This is how I like to start mine. You don't have to start yours this way, but this is how I like to start mine. And now I'm just gonna start kind of feeling the actual shape of my rock and trying to accentuate that beauty that this rock has by going and fitting the wire around the natural rock shape. So try to bear with me and try to keep a lot of tension down while you're doing this. So, but also do not put too much that it breaks your rock. That's a common thing that people will run into. It's putting too much pressure on their stone and damaging it. I'm gonna kind of create a swirly effect here. I don't want to reach around the back of the stone too much, but I would like to somehow maneuver this so that it's coming out of the front again. So that's a good one right there. And we're going to take our pliers and we're going to just pull on it pretty tight. Look at that. And our first shape is almost secured now because the tension that we kept is tight. So when we eventually do come into a place where we can hold, this is held forever now. That won't break unless you physically maneuver it. You see this? And this is what you want to be very careful of. So I broke this piece right here off, and it's because I was pushing too hard. So we're gonna backtrack a little, and that's fine. I'd prefer to backtrack as opposed to trying to make it fit after it's changed. And kind of doing this, kind of the whole point of this is doing it on the fly and adapting to how the rock is, adapting to how the wire fits around the rock. Because again, it's not a constant. So I found another route that we're going to go with. I like this, and we're going to try to tie it off around here at the back. See, I do like to have a front and a back on my necklaces, guys, because in the end of the day, one side is going to look a lot better than the other side. It's just, especially if you plan this from the beginning, and then you can kind of, like I said, it's planned. You can kind of make the front side look way nicer and then hide all the tucks and things on the back. So that's what I prefer to do. Alrighty. And look, we've got it over. And now that's perfect because you just want some tension, and we're going to wrap this around itself and crush it down. See that? Wow, beautiful. It's strong, it's tough, and it looks good. And now, you guys, we have our skeleton. So this is not ready to put on for me yet. If you like yours this way, great. However, I'm going to add some smaller wire details in here because that's where I think it really becomes aesthetic and pops. So follow me if you would like. Alrighty, guys. So now we're going to go ahead and grab our small wire. This is our thinnest wire that we have right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull not too much of it, maybe about 6 to 8 inches of it. And we're going to try to make some really, really intricate designs with this. This wire is really easy to get into those tighter spots, so we can actually loop it around and coil it around this bigger wire. There's 3 types of design wire onto wire that you can do. You can coil, so you can wrap and coil it around the thicker wire. You can bounce it, so you can stretch from here to here and go back in zigzag patterns, or you can secondary wrap it around it and kind of flow with it in a smaller way. I like to coil and zigzag. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys those today. As you guys can see, these are going to be directly related. And I'm even going to go from here to here to here to here to here down to here. And then try to get some more coils done from here zigzagging. Let's see how it goes. And bending your wire with the rock as you're going along is a crucial, you will start to use the art as a tool. See, there we go right there. And now look, now we're wrapped around it. Look, the coil has already started. We're gonna straighten this wire out. And wire is very strange in a way of you don't want it twisting and in a way of it going like that. So we're gonna make sure that we use some very slow and skillful placement here. Go ahead and wrap it through itself, just like this. under the original wire that you're coiling it over, and you're gonna just pull it slowly. And this is the part that you guys will need to watch for, because you don't want that. You don't want it to start folding. You need to keep your pressure and guide the wire with itself so that it tightens up around itself. And you see how it's almost tight? You're going to go ahead and push it in to guide it, and it tightens itself up now. And now you're going to want to take those two coils you see, and you're going to want to push them together like this. There we go. And now they're tight together. And that's how you start. And you can start to be a little bit more aggressive with it as it's clamped down further. I just like to be gentle on the first couple so you don't pull your own coil out from yourself. So now we're going to speed up a little bit and coil. I'm going to say coil it about 5 to 6 times before you make your first jump. So again, straighten it out. Before every single time you loop it, you're going to want to straighten it out and make sure that nothing is against itself. The wire will sometimes want to bend in a direction that you don't want it to bend in, and you have to be firm with it, but also gently realign it. See, for example, if this bottom piece that I'm pulling this way starts to go this way, I'm going to do it on purpose. You see, it's going to start to fold over itself and create a knack, and you can't have that. So we're going to twist it back that way. You don't want it to knot itself. And there we go. And another coil. And do what I said to do last time. You're going to tighten it up. And it's going to start looking beautiful, guys. So now we're going to make our first jump. Our coil looks good. You see that? And now we're going to jump to this. And make sure this goes up correctly so you don't get a kink. And we're going to straighten this out the best that we can. So now we have our first zig. We need to make it zig and then zag. So we're going to put another coil around here. Come on, straighten your wire out, guys. And we're going to pull this again to create a more consistent coil. And look, guys, I want you to pay attention to this. This is time and detail. Do you see that 2 coils here, 2 coils here? We're going to go again. Because look how good that 3rd coil looks in there. So go ahead, put it right on under. And I'd say every 5 or so loops around, go ahead and zig and then zag. Then we're going to go on under to our next zigzag. All right, and look at this, guys. You're going to want to make sure everything is on the correct side of your coils. You definitely don't want a kink. If we get a kink in this video, I will have failed. However, it will be a good showing to show you guys what to look out for, because those kinks can really ruin your whole entire project if you're not careful. And we're going to actually go down to here now. I like that. We're going to go through this bottom wire now. You always want to be looping towards the direction that you're ending up bringing the wire next for its next zigzag. So there we go. We've got our first coil down, and it's a little bit sideways, so we're going to... You can see it's a little bit sideways here, so we're going to take our pliers and just twist them, straighten them out. Looks good, guys. Awesome. And you guys, if you're still with me at this point, give yourselves a pat on the back because a lot of people will have quit at this point. Remember, it's a learning curve and you will be learning this as you go. It's really hard. You just have to keep your mind at it. You'll discover that you make yourself beautiful pieces by doing it over and over again. I'm going to go even again for another one right now. Kind of just deciding on the fly. And this time we're actually going to switch back and forth between the zigzags with every one coil. I think that'll look really good. Yeah. This one now. And back under it. And over this next one. Do you see now, guys, how that's kind of coming together? Look at how beautiful that is. So we've only got a couple more things that we could even do. We could keep going forever, obviously. But I think that I'm going to call it here. And what I'm going to do is end up going up the back right here and reinforcing it in the same spot that we reinforced our last one with. So what I'm going to do is find a place like this that I can go under. And I'm going to go ahead and go under it again. And then we're just going to go ahead and go in between some of our own set wires and pull for a last time. Because I think 3 hoops is good. And then look at this, guys. Just going to snip it. Just like that. And coil this last one around itself. Because the last thing that you would want is a piece of sharp metal stabbing you while you wear your necklace. So it is now coiled around itself. And look, guys, look at what we made. You took some natural rock and you created art out of it. Now we're going to take our string and I'm going to show you guys the best way to make a necklace, in my opinion, and it's adjustable. What I'm about to show you is how to make a necklace that is adjustable. So for example, if I wanted it to be larger, I could pull it, for example, to put it over my head. And then when I want to adjust it, tighten it, I take these strings and I just pull them and it tightens around my neck as tightly as I would like it. This is my favorite way of making a necklace. It looks good. It doesn't look cheap. However, you can always use a clasp. Another option is you could always go ahead and take a necklace that you made and put it onto a chain. This is obviously a little bit more expensive, but it looks fancier. So these are options that you guys have. So guys, for measuring this part, this is what I like to do. I like to take it in my pointer and my thumb finger, and I like to hold the end of the string, and then I run it up my arm until I reach my shoulder. So I'm gonna cut it right there. And now this next step, guys, is probably the easiest step in the whole entire video. You're gonna take this string, and you're gonna take this string and go over it on one side, under it, so that it looks like this. So you've just got it like this, all right? You see? It's very simple first step. I know it's confusing tying knots, but just bear with me. You're gonna take it, and then you're gonna take this piece right here, and you're gonna go through your own knot. So like this. You're literally just tying a knot. And you're gonna want it to be kind of a short string right here. So yeah, it's just a knot. It's very simple. And now you're going to take this string, which is this part right here, and you're gonna do the same thing to this one. You're gonna take it, go over, and then put it through itself. And now you guys can do this, setting the string. Take it and pull it apart until the knots are super tight. And now they're not gonna untie. But if you want them looser, you do this. So this is what it looks like in the end, and it's adjustable. Obviously, you want your pendant on it. So let's run through this knot one more time. You're gonna put your pendant onto your rope or cord or string or whatever it ends up being on. You're gonna take it and you're gonna literally just cross them like this. And I'm gonna take my string here, go over this string. And now I have a little loop, and I'm gonna put it in the back of the loop so that it goes out facing the same way as this string. So now we've got a little knot right there. You can pull it if you want. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the loose end on this one. Go under it and over it, and then just put it right through there. And this is very easy, guys. If I'm doing a bad job explaining it, I'm sorry. But you're gonna wanna set your knots, pull at it, cool. Not too insanely tight, guys, but just pull on it, give it a little tighten. And then you can loosen and tighten your necklace at will, guys. Whenever you would like to. Your necklace is friggin' done now. Woo! Look at this, guys. Everybody, go ahead and give yourselves a hand. Wow, oh my God. Snaps, congratulate yourself. You have made a necklace. You did this yourself, and you should be proud of it. Put good energy into it, and wear it all you can, guys. And if you liked this video, or you want to see me do some more, just let me know in the comments. If you have any tips for me that I forgot, put them in the comments. If you want me to do a different kind of video, here's some porcelain pieces that I wired up. This was actually a sake set from the 1800s that my grandfather got in Japan when he was on his travels, and he left it with me before he passed away, and it broke, so I made it into some art that I could wear so that I wouldn't have to throw it away. Your guys' support means a lot. If you want to buy this necklace or any other necklaces or any of my merch, I have a link in the bio and a link in the description. So go ahead and get yourself some of my merch at sedandad.bigcartel.com. It's right up here on the screen. And all the support means a lot, guys. So thank you for watching my videos. Love you all. Stay safe.